All right, for this video, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use some spray paints, yellow, orange, and black, and then I'm gonna use a plastic bag, and I'm just gonna create, like a texture pattern type, very loose. It's again, it's just playing around, and then I'll show you what I'm gonna do once I finish that. But let's get started. So just go over with some black. And again, you don't have to be perfect. And then maybe some orange. Some yellow. And go back. All right, so now take the bag, and again, this is just going to create different texture patterns. You don't have to be perfect on this. I should have put some gloves on, but that's fine. All right, that's fine for this video. So once that dries, I'll show you what I'm gonna do next. But see, so it's got some nice textures on it, some cool colors that mix together. So like I said, I'll let this dry, and then we'll be back, and I'll show you what I'm gonna do next. All right, so now it's pretty dry. So the next step is to use, I made these templates. It's on hardstock, so I printed them out on hardstock, and then I used some tape and then clear tape to make it a little bit harder, so that it's not, it doesn't fold very easily. My plan is to maybe cut them out of wood, so you don't have to keep creating these, and it adds some weight to it. But for now, it's worked for me. So anyway, so the next step is kind of laying it down. Come up with some kind of design where you think it's going to look best, and then add the little one maybe up here. And then what we'll do is maybe take a jelly roll. All right, so I added the outline. You probably can't really see it. Yeah, you see a little bit of it in here, down here, and then for this little one, you see it. So anyway, so next step, it's going to be, so I'm going to use a smaller brush with matte black, and then I'm just going to go around it and start fading it. Again, you don't have to be perfect. Because the next step after that, we're gonna take a cup and add some water with black, and just mix that. So essentially it's gonna be a wash, and then we're gonna use that and use several different layers just to make the background darker. You don't want it all the way black. You can if you want, but with this texture, I think it looks cool if you just make it a couple of shades darker, so then the turtles pops with the darker background. So anyways, it's a lot of trial and error. It's not going to be perfect, but it does look pretty cool. So anyways, let's start. So take some of the black, and then just go just something like this, just go around the edges, and then what you can do, just start kind of fading it out. And eventually, once you do it a couple of times, the outer part's gonna get darker, and then you'll start seeing the turtles pop out. So there's several different ways. You can just outline it first and then start blending out, or just start doing it as you're working on this. So anyway, so let's just keep going around. And you want the outer edge darker anyways, and then just again just kind of fade it out. All right, so we'll continue going around, then I'll be back and show you with the wash. All right, so we're finishing up here. So just gonna have this one little back leg. And again, you know, don't worry too much about the detail. You know, it's really an abstract, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Obviously, a person is going to know what it is. Again, what I'm doing here is just going around the edges and then just kind of fading it out. All right, so the next step after that would be add a layer. So again, I have some water in here. I'm going to add a little bit of the black, matte black. Actually, I think I may have a little too much water. All right, so we are going to add some in there. Then just take a different brush. And use something kind of like this and just kind of mix that. All right, so we'll start up at the top. So I'll show you, since the top is drier, just do this and just kind of spread it around. It's gonna be a few layers. The key is just to make it dark enough and kind of start blending it. You know, obviously a couple of layers in with the darker outer edges, so it looks much better. But as of right now, we're just gonna add this quick wash around the outside. Can't stress enough, you know, try not to be perfect. I mean, I know sometimes it's hard as artists, but this is an abstract, so that's the key, is just to kind of just be loose, have fun. You know, that was the thing. I mean, I was always trying to be very detailed and, you know, be precise and perfect. And God, you know, once you start learning to be loose, it's so much easier and just better. You know, you're not going nuts because it ain't the, you know, whatever color you're using didn't take very well. You know, with this, it's just being loose. You know, and then once this dries, we'll go over it again, and we'll might have to go with the black again and kind of fade it out once again. But for now, let's just wait on this one. Let's just do this first layer. I don't know if you can see, as you can see on the camera, they're starting to get darker. All right, so the first layer is pretty dry. You still got a couple of spots that are still wet, but that's fine, because what I'll do is I'll go around the areas that are dry, again using the black wash, and you know, just going for that second layer. All right, so this layer's almost done. There's a little bit back over here. I don't think I'm gonna hit. I'm not gonna apply another layer. I think it's getting pretty dark. I think if I do one more, it's gonna really make it too dark for what I'm trying to do. What you can do is make the edges, the edges, you know, black, and then fade it out. That part you can do so it can pop, you know, so it'll pop more. What I was thinking about doing is going through here and adding some of the lines, so at least it adds a little bit of you know, dimension to it. So basically just go, and you may have to do it a couple of times to make it darker, so something like this. And again, you could come back in here, fade it again. All right, so added the outlines, not too thick. You know, you got different options on this. You can add some shadowing in there, in here, in there. I chose not to do that on this video. I just figured, you know, just to kind of show you some of the techniques like this. You can play around and, you know, like I said, add shadowing and things of that nature. But I think I'm good. I'm gonna let it dry. And the next step, I'm still debating whether I want to do a resin on it, or a spray glaze, or brush the glaze. So I'm still gotta think about it. So anyways, let's just gonna sign it really quick, and then you know, let it completely dry, and then I'll just, you know, again, we'll figure out what to do once I decide what the next step for it. So